Hi everyone, and a very wonderful evening to you all. I hope you all are doing great. This is me, Pooja, your host for the day, coming in live with another wonderful session and another wonderful speaker. Before we could dive in for today's speaker and topic, I just wanted to go through various topics on which we had a conversations and also wanted to remind you all why we are doing this. Most of us here are the young adults or the youth, and we are here to share our experiences and our insights and wisdom, what we have gained through our experience. For people who are above 50, they would always ask me, like, oh my God, you're just 28 years old. What makes you think that people are going to listen to your experience over a 50-year-old? And my answer to them always was, it's not about how old your physical body is, it's about how you have lived each and every moment of your life and how fulfilled you were in your emotions, how openly you were able to cry, how openly you were able to laugh, how much did you enjoy dancing in that rain, and how much you have loved that pet of yours, how much you enjoyed sharing the tiffin with someone else. Because this is what makes life way more beautiful than we all can think of. It's the emotions, the feelings, and the situations that comes with us. Today we are here to celebrate another speaker with us who has been in this meditation journey from quite a while. She is quite young, and please don't let her age fool you because, like I said, age is just a number. And the reason why we always like to have the youth with us to talk about their experiences because the young generation is always different than the older generation. And today there's so much of information, so much of everything happening all around us that it's really easy to have too much information and be overwhelmed and overstimulated all the time. This is where we need to understand to have that filter in ourselves to what is applicable in my life and what can I take and that actually resonates with me. We are not here to talk about the situation because we do understand that there are infinite possible situations that will happen with us. Like as many humans are there, no human has the same fingerprint with the other person. The same goes with situations as well. Situations are never the same, but the emotions are. Infinite possible situations, but only limited emotions. And the same infinite situations trigger the same emotions in us. I mean, I don't even know how many of you can actually sit down and name all the emotions you can think of. And if you can make a list, I'm pretty sure it's not even gonna cross 50 of them. That's again a limit in itself. And that is why we talk about emotional intelligence and the way you're going to handle yourself and your emotions in a better way that is going to make your life much, much, much better. So today we have with us as a speaker is Vaishnavi, who is another young and dynamic person all the way from the US. She's in 11th grade and she has been into meditation since she was 6. And it was her mom who introduced her to the meditation. And since then, meditation became a part of her life. So she now, apart from her studying, also meditates regularly. She takes sessions for children. So I think it's really wonderful to talk with someone who engages with children on a daily basis. Because just like Jesus Christ said, if you want to enter heaven, become a children. So she's a really wonderful person to have a connection with today. And hi Vaishnavi, please welcome today for the today's session.
Hi, Pooja. Thank you for the introduction. So, hello everyone. My name is Vaishnavi. I'm really excited to be here today. So today we'll be talking about self-love. Before that, let's dive into meditation. Yeah.
Sure.
Let's share this.
Yes, please guide us into meditation.
Yeah. Oh, I hope everyone can hear the music. So, become comfortable. Cross your legs, clasp your hands, and place them on your lap. Take off your glasses if you're wearing any, and gently close your eyes. Slowly breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly begin to follow your breath. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let go of everything and simply again with your breath. Stay with your breath. to prevent overwhelming you. Don't let anything else distract you from what you want to do. Ignore any other distractions and bring your breath back. Last few minutes, my dear friends. Stay with your breath. Slowly begin to come back. Come back to your body. Slowly become aware of your surroundings. Aware of yourself. Last 30 seconds. And slowly, whenever you're ready, place your palms and closed eyes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And open your eyes with a big smile. Thank you for the meditation. It was really nice. I hope everyone else felt good energies. And Pooja, if you're ready, we can start the conversation. Yes.
Yes. So just wanted to know, like, how was your meditation as well?
Yeah, sorry.
How was your meditation? Just
It
now
was
you
really
mentioned
good.
that.
Yeah, time went by really fast. It was really nice. I felt really good energy.
Lovely. So before we dive into the conversation, I did give a brief about you to the audience. So can you just give a bit more details and walk through about your life and your daily routines and your activities related to anything spiritual that can help the audience?
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, I'm Vaishnavi. I'm an 11th grader. I'm from Dallas, Texas, USA, and I've been on the meditation journey for like most of my life, I would say. I started doing meditation from the third grade with like a different type of meditation, and I got into like the path of PSM in sixth grade. I've been meditating for about like 5 years now, and so it's really beautiful. I really love it, and I feel like a lot of me has changed through the meditation journey. And apart from just meditation, I'm a classical birth coaching dancer. So that's a huge part of my life as well. And I like try to incorporate meditation like my entire like daily life. And I like do that by doing like little sessions with like kids every day. And I meditate with them for 20 minutes or 30 minutes a day. And they like tell me their experience. I'm like motivated when I listen to them because they're like these little kids and they like have such beautiful experiences. So that's really nice.
That's wonderful. So I'll start with the most obvious and the most basic questions of the evening. Like you chose the topic self-love. What
Mhm.
what made you pick this topic?
Well, I think self-love is so important to like us, especially the youth and like the younger generations right now, because we're always going to be faced by like a lot of like different pressures and different like um expectations from like outside people and like social media. A lot of us are always on social media, so we're always seeing these different things. And so I think it's important that all of us have self-love for ourselves. So like no matter what we're seeing or no matter like what happens around us, we still have that self-respect, self-love, and we value ourselves. That's why I chose self-love for today's topic.
So that means this is something that you resonate with very personally, and you have seen a lot of transformation in yourself before and after meditation.
Yes, definitely. With meditation came self-love for me. And so before meditation, I wasn't confident in who I was. I mean, I was in middle school back then, so I wasn't like confident able to like, speak to others or like confident who I was or what I liked. And so I think having that meditation journey and like going to self-love, I was able to like uh value my feelings, love myself, and like no matter what I do, I treat myself with the highest, most respect and also like prioritize my needs and I accept who I am, kind of.
That is really lovely because what even my journey with self love was initially, even before I could step into spirituality, for what I thought self love was okay, going out for shopping. And since I'm a girl, girly stuff, going out for shopping and or watching your favorite movies, like the comfort movies, and then just having your favorite meal is what is all about self love. But that is when once I started into meditation, I understand that there are layers and layers of self-love. That is not what comes from the outside source, but exactly what comes from the inside, and the way you feel about yourself became my takeaway from like self-love. And I could definitely say that there's been a lot of changes in me, and to all the people I've spoken with, they say that self-love is something that they felt like they need to have from an external source, be it their siblings, the parents, their close friends, the loved ones. But now it's more like an internal factor where you feel like, okay, I am self-sufficient in my own love, and I choose to give it to other people who are close to me, and I would take their love as well in a very respected manner. So I think that's really beautiful to see these kind of healthy transformations happening around there. At the same time, I still feel that there are a lot of people who are struggling. So I just wanted to know, like I have a very in-depth question. Most of
Mhm.
the time, when we talk about elders, right? Okay, the elders in the family expect things from their kids, more specifically a parent and a child. I feel like what people don't understand is that in these kind of relationship, also it is important to have healthy boundaries where you can talk
Mhm.
about things what you like. Because I feel like self-love also talks about boundaries, keeping your own boundaries intact and making sure that you don't overstep somebody else's boundary as well. So
Yeah.
how would you explain this to someone who is struggling to keep up their boundaries?
I would tell them that yes, it's important to like understand what your other loved ones want from you, but it's also important to like understand that you come first. Self-love, some people might view as like selfish or like ignorance to others, but it's truly not what it is. You have to love yourself first, like pour love to other people. So this is the thing, you can't pour from an empty cup. And that's really true from us. We have to like love ourselves fully first before we can love someone else. And so it's important to have these boundaries in place because we're respecting who we are and what we want. And it's important that we do this because we are like really we should value ourselves. We are also a human being, and so it's important that we accept that we deserve what we want. And no matter what other people might want, they might like your parents or something, they will be expecting something from you. But if they like truly love you, they will understand that. And it's important to place that boundary between them because in the future, if you're just there like accepting to everything they want, they will realize that you aren't happy. And so they will also be upset in the future. So it's important to like show them what you like, what you want, and like talk to them with that and set those boundaries.
Yeah, because I have also seen that when as a person I am setting boundaries, other people who don't understand the concept of boundaries do tend to guilt shame me into making me like listen to them. So how would you like tell any other audience who's listening out there, like what exactly is guilt shaming and how they can actually deal with it?
Okay, so this is a really good question because yes, everyone faces this all the time. And like the society right now, they like praise self-sacrifice or like sacrificing yourself for others more than actually having self-love. And so it's important to know that you're allowed to take up space, you're allowed to be who you are. And to explain this to someone else, um, people might say like you're ignorant, you don't need anyone, or like do you think you're better than other people? They might say these things, but that's not right. We should like explain that to them that this is a toxic cycle. We should definitely tell them that my piece is not up for your debate. And when you say I love myself, society will sometimes hear that I'm arrogant. I only think about myself, and you need to explain that to them. That no, I'm like putting myself first because I am important to me, and like have that conversation with them, and that's really important. And it might not get through them in the first like try. Obviously, they will like definitely like be like still having those mindsets, especially the older generations. So we will definitely have to like take that time and explain to them properly and show them that the importance of having self-love.
Okay, you just spoke about, people will think that they are gonna, I'm very ignorant and arrogant. So that is again another attack while I'm just trying to be kind towards them and explaining them my feelings about like, hey, you did this kind of offended me. But they would try to attack me, and there would be a circumstances where people will like, you shouldn't be feeling this way. They just they're not even able to acknowledge my feelings, even if I'm sitting in front of them and telling them, hey, this is what I feel, this is what you did, and this is what you could have done. So, how do you think why it is important to just first thing is not to seek validation about what you're feeling from anybody, and second thing is when you are expressing yourself, it is important that if they are not acknowledging you or gaslighting you, at the same time you need to be mentally prepared for these kind of situations. So, how would you guide someone to walk through these kind of situations?
Well, the harsh truth is sometimes that if it's a friend or like someone like your best friend or a very close family member, they will definitely like not be able to understand first, but understand that it's okay to like distance yourself from other people and like value yourself first. And if someone else is like not respecting you or like not accepting for who you are or not realizing that you're simply just having self-love, it's you're allowed to take a step back and put yourself first and like not always stay quiet and be nice to them and like move away from them. You're allowed to do that. And that's something that I would do if someone else, my friend, wasn't respecting me or respecting my values.
Wonderful, because it just comes to a point that when you're dealing with a lot of people outside, like your family, more specifically, like your colleagues, your boss, and your friends, it's pretty obvious that they do tend to come with their own mindset and their own belief system. And I think every time there is a resistance, that is where things happen. And people generally are very arrogant in terms of telling the truth. They are like, oh my God, I'm just blunt. but I still feel like there is this thin line of expressing your feelings without offending somebody else. At the same time, I feel like it's important that you don't take it on a personal level and just hold a grudge against that person. As much as I feel like, okay, I'm expressing myself to this person, there's also come this attachment, right? Okay, I just expressed something to my best friend and she did not understand it. And there comes the psychology of holding a grudge against that person.
I
So,
wouldn't hold.
how would, yeah, because as much as I need to be aware of my own boundaries, I need to be aware of the other person's boundaries as well. So, what do you think I should be doing if I unknowingly cross a person's boundary and they come up to me and tell me, like, hey, you've done something? So, it's again, I believe, a choice, right? Rather than taking it on a personal level, then sitting it out and sorting it. So,
Mhm.
what would be the right way of approach to do when I don't want to hurt my feelings and their feelings?
Yes. So if someone else like is if you're crossing their boundaries and they set those boundaries and they come tell this to you, understand what they're saying and like try to do the best you can, but also make sure you're not crossing your own boundaries and like try to find an even ground between them both and never take anything personally. No matter what someone else is saying against you, know it's not you, but it's a reflection of them all the time. So always make sure that nothing anyone else says affects you in a negative way, or like you never take anything on a personal level. And so that's always important. Like make sure that you understand that they are coming from a different mindset. They come with a different alignment. They come from a different like family. They have a different background. And so what they're doing and like their mindset is not a reflection of who you are, but a reflection of them. And that will kind of help you like understand that you should never take them personally.
That's a lovely takeaway to know that what other people says and the way is actually a reflection of them, and what you do and the way you behave is actually a reflection of who you are. And it might be in terms of your body language or the words you choose to speak in front of others, and the way you make to feel others as well. And that actually brings me to my next question. We also talk about being empathic, having empathy towards others, and most importantly, having empathy towards your own self. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I talk about self love, it is important that you are able to forgive your own self for the past mistakes what you have done. So,
Yes.
how do you think a person who is healing in their own journey and trying to get over their past mistake should handle their emotions when they're, feeling upset about with themselves, like, why did I do this or why should I have done that? So, again, the guilt tripping starts right in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Uh,
what to do
so
in that moment?
so yes, we're always gonna go through this moment where you do something and then later you're like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? I feel so stupid. I feel so dumb. Don't ever say those words to yourself. Become conscious of what you're thinking, not just what you're saying, but what you're thinking, because everything you think, every emotion you feel, your body will process that and that'll affect you. So if you're ever like struggling between like in this like space and you don't understand what to say, always like validate your emotions. You're allowed to feel what you're allowed to feel. Whatever you're feeling, it's allowed. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling embarrassed, if you're feeling like guilty, it's okay. Listen to that emotion, journal it down, talk about it to someone, let it out, but don't like linger with it. Don't stay with it forever, okay? After give it some time for you to process that emotion, and after that, move on. It is okay. It's done. It's in the past. Forgive yourself and forget it. And then you'll be able to like move on and healing is not always going to be like a linear process. You're allowed to like feel and you're allowed to like change how you feel. But it's important to understand that you should stay with that feeling for so long. And you should also change the way you speak. So instead of saying, I'm like so weak, you can start saying, I'm going through something hard, but I'm still here, you know? And like change your minds around things. And that helps.
Yeah, I think that is really important to understand that you just don't tell yourself that, oh my God, I am so stupid for doing that mistake. You can just instead say, that is what I thought was the best in that moment. So that's what I have did. Now it's time to let it go.
Yes.
And that's really beautiful to know that it's important that you acknowledge your feelings because, just like you said, every time you try to override your own emotions, they try to come back to you much stronger. And if you're not acknowledging them and making peace with them, they'll come back stronger and hit you more harder. But that actually brings me to my next question as well.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're telling me that I need to be more kind with myself and tell that it's okay. It's okay, Pooja, you have done a mistake. It's all in the past. You need to let it go. What if somebody in the past have done something to me and I still feel like in a very subconscious mind, I'm holding a grudge against them because, again, the intensity of emotions what a general person feels is quite high.
Mhm.
So understanding that this is deeply rooted in your subconscious mind and then consciously getting over it becomes difficult because you have to forgive somebody else. So what can we do in those kind of situations?
So, if you're ever holding a grudge against someone or like you can't forgive them for what they did, forget them. So this might sound really weird, but yes, forget them. If you can't forgive them, just forget them. Throw them out of your life, throw them out of your mind, and like forget what they did to you. Don't think about it. And yes, that might be hard in the beginning, but meditation is like gonna greatly help you with this. But if you like cannot forgive what they did, like they did this atrocious thing to you, they hurt you so bad, and you can't like forgive them no matter what. Understand the reason behind it, meditate, and like find the reason why this happened to me, and then just forget it. Because you should not waste your time on someone like that. Understand that they're not worth your time. If they've hurt you so badly in such a deep level that you still can't forgive them, they're not worth your time. They're not worth anyone's time if they're like hurting them like that. So push them out of the way. And if you want, talk to them and find like how it will happen. Come to like a resolution about that. But other than that, I would just say forget them. Like move on with that, forget about that. And like that will really help because even if you can't forgive them for what they did, it's important to like realize that they're not worth my time right now.
Hmm. And you like just even said like initially it's gonna be a bit difficult knowing that okay, I consciously choose to bring this memory out of my mind and consciously choose to put it out of my brain. I think that process is gonna again take people some time, and that is where they might either fall into that trap of again holding the grudge more strongly or just pretending it. Oh my God, it's fine, just faking it, not actually sitting and acknowledging their feelings. And so, what is, if you have any practical tips for us that's gonna help you audience out there if they can do something, that would be really great.
Yes. So if you're ever like holding this grudge against someone, again, like sit with your emotions, journal them down, understand what you're feeling, because it's important to know what you truly are feeling about them. Like if you're feeling really embarrassed about the situation, or you're feeling like agony, you're in pain about this, write it down, journal your thoughts, talk to someone about it. Therapy is a great way to go with it. And like talk to someone about it if you don't have anyone in therapy, or like talk to your loved ones or your friend and like explain what you're thinking about right now, what you're going through and write it down. That will like definitely help you put it out there instead of like putting inside of you and like keeping that in your mind, you know? So like write everything you want down, talk to someone, and that will definitely help you release those emotions you're feeling. And I think meditation is another huge thing that everyone can do. Meditating about these feelings, just meditating will just help you like go to another level.
That's actually really nice way to release out your emotions because unless and until it's inside of you, it's gonna make you feel stuffy and uncomfortable in your own self. And like you mentioned, releasing it out through meditation or writing, journaling it down, or talking to someone is actually some of the best possible ways what we can generally do on general basis. So I
Mhm.
just wanted to know, like, okay, so we're talking about past. I've done something in my past, or somebody did something to me in the past. Now, let's talk about the future things as well, because I understand that I'm a human and I'm bound to make mistakes. And when
Mhm.
you're in this journey of self-love, you go in that phase where, like, oh my God, I'm not going to do any mistake, which is not actually practically possible. So when you
Yes.
think that, oh my God, even though in this movement I am so conscious, I am still bound to do certain mistakes in the future, knowingly or unknowingly. Acceptance of that also has to be there. So how can someone accept that? because I am someone who's dealing with this right now. I feel like, oh my God, my professional life, my personal life, my health, my physical health, everything has to be perfect. And if nothing is perfect, I panic. And I don't want to panic. So,
Yeah, that's actually a really good question because that's where self-love comes in the most because it's important to accept yourself as you are. And it's important to know that you shouldn't like love yourself when you're perfect. You should love yourself with the imperfection that you have, even if you're not perfect, even if you're like your worst state in your life, it's important to have that self-love and know that your success or your like looks, your physical health, your mental health is not what it's important. It's like it's that you're like here, you're doing this, you're like living life to the best you can right now. And that's like what you have to understand. And you have to love yourself. And self-love is important to have, even though you're not like at the best point in your life. Having self-love when you're like amazing, successful, a millionaire, rich, with like the perfect body ever, that's easy. But like when you're like at your lowest, when you don't know what to do, when you're like going through horrible emotions, self-love is something that is important at that moment. So I feel like people should have self-love then and accept and realize that everyone is human. Humans will make mistakes. That's why we're here on Earth. Like see these mistakes, see how they'll affect your life. But know at the end of the day that no matter what you do, you're still a human and you're still beautiful and you're still loved.
yeah, I think I hope the audience is taking notes that we are bound to make mistakes, and it's okay to love yourself in spite of your imperfections. Okay, imagine that I am having a bad day. I just came from an interview and my interview did not go well. So it's pretty obvious I'm going to feel low. And at
Mhm.
some point, if I'm not going to do anything about it, I feel like we all tend to just unconsciously harbor in that feeling for a long time rather than just trying to get out of it. So,
Yes.
what tips do you have for us? Like, when a person feels that they're not looking good enough today, or they just had a
Mhm.
very bad day at work, or they had a fight with their friends or a family, that is when I think their self-esteem takes a really low hit. And
Mhm.
doing something would actually help them to get out of the feeling. So, like, what tips do you have for us?
Yes. So, to your question, we should start practicing self-love daily. So, you should change the mindset and like the way you speak first. So if you like make a mistake, you fail a test, you bomb a test, you bomb your interview. That's okay. Don't like tell yourself you're stupid or like how could I do this? Oh my gosh. We always have like these thoughts running through our mind. So we need to change those because thoughts and emotions are really important and like the emotions you feel will definitely affect your body. So always change the way that you like look at a situation. If you like completely bomb a test, realize that, oh, okay, that's okay. I did something wrong, I'm like, it's okay. And like understand it's okay to make a mistake and like tell yourself that you're not stupid, that you're still allowed to do this. And I'm trying and that's what matters. Have like that mindset instead of being like you're stupid, you're a moron. Instead of throwing like those words at you, throw words of like self-love. And instead of like look talking to yourself how you talk to yourself how you talk to your best friend. If your best friend bombed a test, you wouldn't like tell them that they're stupid or like they're awful. You would tell them that's okay. Try again next time. You're smart. I know you. I trust in you. I have faith in you. Use those words of encouragement when talking to yourself. So I think that's what people can start doing. Changing the way you speak or talk to yourself is like the main thing. And if you're not like feeling your
Oh,
best, oh
mm-hmm.
yes, if you're not feeling your
Yeah.
best or anything, there are always like things you can do to make yourself feel better. Have a self-care day. And people do this on Instagram all day. And it's not something you should do every single day. It's not realistic either. But like just like take care of your body, resting, eating well, eating your favorite food. This might seem super tiny, but this is also like a form of self-love. And it's important you do this. And journaling how you feel. Saying no to something that drains you is also important. So always do like these small things and celebrate the small win. So you don't have to like get that job, but like if you just wake up early that day, or if you like finished your homework that day, celebrate those small wins. And instead of just like focusing on like the big stuff that you didn't make, focus on like the small things you did.
Uh, I think that's really nice. A lot of things that you gave away. First thing would be talk to yourself the way you talk to your best friend, because none of us are really rude with our best friend unless
Hmm.
we're actually pulling their legs. So yeah, we're always sweet and kind with our best friends. We're motivating them. So I think if we can have the same empathy and kindness towards our own self, that's going to be really wonderful. Specifically when we're struggling. And like you said, like celebrating small wins actually brings in that change in us, I think unconsciously, because we are so bound and taught by the society that, okay, like everything we do, we are like subconsciously kind of criticizing us. And even if we are winning something, we are made to feel like, oh, that's not a big deal. Everybody does it. You're not unique. You're not special. And just that is when knowing that, oh my God, it did matter to me. I did put in so much of efforts and did my best. And celebrating small victories kind of gradually shifts that mindset initially and helps us to build that momentum to make major changes in the life. And
Mhm.
I think the best thing that I took away from you right now was, in order to make big changes, you don't have to go and climb the Mount Everest. You can start small, and actually, small changes lead to big things. It's not the big
Yes.
things that we do, it's the small things that actually change us from the internally and change our external reality as well. I think that's the biggest takeaway I got today. Thank
Yes.
you for that.
Mm.
That was lovely.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, that was really
so
beautiful.
I would really love to know if you have any sort of, affirmations or just like think what you practice for self-love, what you could give
Mhm.
us would be wonderful.
Yes. So there's something called a mirror work where you like stand in front of the mirror every single day. You could do this while you're brushing your teeth or you're like just out of a shower. Just like stand in front of a mirror in your bathroom or something and just talk to yourself. And like say these affirmations with emotion. And some affirmations I would use is okay, say your name like Vaishnavi, I love you. Pooja, I love you. Say that to yourself in front of the mirror and like make yourself feel loved. And then other affirmations you can do are like, I am beautiful, I am loved, I am like ethereal, I am gorgeous. Say these affirmations to yourself every single day. And they can be like very like particular, like I am a straight student. Like or I am like a good student, say stuff like this, or like they can be like vague and about anything, or I'm a good human being. And you say these things in front of a mirror and like feel yourself feeling the emotions while you're doing this. So that's like a daily affirmation that I do every single day that really helps me. And like you start in the morning, right? So you're like set for the day and you're like feeling like the self-love all day.
Hmm. I think being able to feel that emotion for yourself and then being able to harbor that emotion for a long time is very important, because even though we practice affirmations, the moment we step out of the house, we have so many things hitting us at the same time. And then we just quickly lose all these things from our head and we spiral back to it. So I think
Hmm.
meditation does really help when you consciously understand, oh my God, no, I'm spiraling into something else. I don't want to be in that emotion. Let me go back to this.
Yes.
Lovely, Vaishnavi. So just if you know, if you could recommend any sort of books for the audience out there that they can
Mhm.
read, not just on this topic, anything that is of self-help related to spirituality, what they can just start and read, that would be great, I think.
Yes. So some of the basic books that I feel like everyone should read are like The Seven Spiritual Laws by Deepak Chopra. So that's a huge like book that's like it's a really tiny book. But it's like has like life lessons that you can use for your entire life in every aspect. So I recommend everyone to read that. And The Four Agreements. These two books are like the starting points of my book journey, and like they really like helped me start getting to reading. It's really nice. Another book about self-love that I've recently heard about is called Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers by Tam Court. And I like she's my favorite podcaster and I listen to her all the time. And she wrote this book and it's really beautiful. And so I would like recommend anyone like wanting to go more into self-love to read that book.
That's wonderful. I think because any books can actually one of the best forms that are out there that we can read and try to gain a lot of not only just knowledge but even wisdom as well, because that is what
Mhm.
we need. Coming to the point of knowledge and wisdom, I do see that a lot of younger generation today talk about self-love, and it was more like a very ongoing trend everywhere. You see on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, people talk about self-love. So,
Yes.
but somewhere I feel that is it the actual self-love that they talk about, or it is just again what is given from too much of information on the internet? Because knowing what is right is also important in today's generation when there is so much of information available on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So, how would you describe the self-love going on in today's generation, and what is the right way of self-love?
Okay, so on like TikTok or Instagram, you're always seeing like this self-love day or something, and they're like doing like this ridiculous amount of like self-care. Like they're putting on these 10 face masks. They're going on like an unrealistic vacation to like Paris or something. Yes, you're allowed to do that, but that's not what self-love just is. Self-love is something that you can incorporate daily. It doesn't have to be like an entire spa day or like having entire new makeup or like going crazy with shopping or like going on a crazy vacation. It's more about just doing the small wins every single day. And this could just be like drinking a good amount of water, eating food, making homemade food, and like treating your body with care, taking well enough rest, journaling. This is like the real self-love that I would like encourage everyone to be involved in rather than the ones we see on like Instagram or TikTok. Those are all just like kind of like extremists. And yes, they're kind of a form of self-love, but they're not the things that all of us can achieve, and neither should we try to kind of. So always like understand that self-love is something huge. It's very simple. And it's very easy to incorporate also.
Yeah, and like I feel like today's generation also is in a need of a lot of self-love compared to any other generation. Like probably any all the generations from 2010 are in need of a lot of self-love compared to anyone prior to that. Why is that? Do you think these changes are happening around us? And like if I see a cousin of mine who's going through this phase, and how what can I do to help someone out there?
So yeah, so I think a lot of our generation right now is going to need a lot of self-love. It's because we're always like online. There's always going to be like this constant online comparison. One day you wake up and you see this new unrealistic beauty standard, and that wasn't there yesterday. And like it's always going to be changing, and no one's always going to be fit into that. No one's in the perfect mold that social media wants you to be. And academics have been like going crazy right now. You see, like you open Instagram, you see this person just found a cure to cancer and they're just a high schooler. And you're also in high school. And you're like, what the heck? What am I doing with my life? And so you're always like seeing these things going around you. And it's very easy to like understand what the next person is doing. And they don't have to be like making you know what someone else is doing in India. You know what someone else is doing in like Europe. You just have to go on your phone and you can see that, right? So we're always in like constant comparison and constant like um oh they're doing this. So it's important that our generation needs that self-love because we're always gonna be seeing these different like comparisons all day. And we have like the most access to it. And I think like this generation they don't really like have they're always like in this constant pressure, especially because they're like a better world than the adults were before. And so they're not able to like have that mental health for themselves and they're not able to like resonate with their like feelings or anything because they're always like supposed to like they have this pressure that they're supposed to be perfect and like on and always happy, right? So especially the younger kids, so you're like a child, what's your problem, you know? So that's what the older people might think, but that's not exactly what's happening for everyone. And so it's important that we have self-love. So we have like the mental health and like understanding of what we're feeling.
Yes, I think it really is important because the younger generations are also exposed to internet, which the older generation was not.
Mhm.
And I understand that younger generations do talk about all the mental needs that we go through, such as in depressions or anxiety or panic, and the way it is important you treat them correctly.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I somewhere feel there is not a balance right now in the world because we are living in two extreme things. Either a person is being carried away with a lot of information and just looking for external sources of self love, or
Mhm.
they're just not in the right place because of that, or else they're completely just even blaming somebody else, like, oh, my my dad said me something that is the reason why I'm depressed, or my boyfriend or my girlfriend broke up with me and I'm depressed because of that. So I feel like the swing is completely in two extreme opposites, and that causes a lot of emotional turbulence in the youth,
Mm-hmm.
and that sets the whole generation in a different mood, is what I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of the younger generations, we want that external validation. We want someone to come to us and tell us, "Oh, you're amazing," but we can never tell that to ourselves. We don't think we have that power to like tell ourselves that you're amazing. We're always looking for someone else to say that to us. And so we should like start helping the self, helping the younger generation feel that self-love and understand that they can give themselves that validation. They don't need to wait for some guy to come to you or some like parent to tell you this. You can tell yourself that.
Lovely. So I just have a few more questions and then we'll open the floor for the audience. So I just wanted to know, what can I do? Like if Vaishnavi is my, like, you are my friend, and if you see that Pooja is going through a bad day, so what do
Mhm.
you think you should be doing to help me get out of that bad phase or bad emotions, and like what can we do?
Okay, so if anyone else like is like close to them is like struggling, don't just like throw positive quotes at them. Don't be like you can do this. Give them like the space that they need first. Understand that they're like going through something right now and be their safe space. Okay, listen without judging. Never judge anything like anyone says to you because they are obviously going through something right now and they're definitely like in a different place than you are. They've experienced something you haven't yet and so be their safe space for them, understand what they're going through, and listen to them. I think that's the biggest thing that we can do to them is just listen. Because I feel like people who are going through this like depression or like these like feelings right now, they don't have anyone to listen to them. So be that person who will go to your friend, listen to them, and like remind them that they're allowed to feel what they're allowed to feel, and remind them that you're gonna heal, and help them like do stuff for themselves. So if they're like depressed and everything, they're probably not taking care of themselves. They're probably just running in bed all day. So like take them out, um, tell them to drink water. It was that's like simple stuff. Like tell them to drink water, make them do a little meditation for like 5 minutes or something, and just help them do small things for themselves, and like encourage the self-compassion for themselves. So help them understand how to speak to themselves. Because if they're going to like depression and everything, they're probably like hating on themselves. They're not like loving themselves the way you're supposed to be. So be the person that starts like believing in them. Sometimes some people need that push from someone else, so be that person for them. Push them and help them like feel loved.
That's good to hear, because we as human beings are quite social and we do often live with so many people around us, be it our friends or
Mhm.
families, and they do tend to get in our inner circle. And if we see someone who is very close to us and struggling, I somewhere feel it's just your basic humanity to help them in the best possible way from your way, and do what you can do in the best way. I think
Mhm.
it's all about being there for each other in this entire journey.
Yes.
Okay, lovely. So before I open the floor for all the audience, if you have any sort of conclusion for the session, just to
Mhm.
tell me, then let's just hear from your wonderful words. I'm all ready.
Yes. So thank you everyone for having me. But I to end the session, I would be just like Um, begin to love yourself right now, okay? Don't wait for this. This is something that you can't procrastinate on. You have to start doing it right now, no matter what state you're on right now. Begin to love yourself and understand that you need that softness around you. You need to be that cocoon for yourself because you can never pour from an empty cup. You can never truly love someone else without loving yourself first. Like, how are you supposed to love another person when you can't love yourself when you decide everything that you do? So, like, it's important to have that self-love before you can move on to anything else. So I hope everyone will be able to do that and just know that you are loved, that you are amazing. Thank you.
Wonderful. So in case if the audience has any questions, I think this is the right time they can come forward and ask Vaishnavi all your questions. We are open now.
Yeah, I don't think they have any questions. Yeah.
So that was really great talking to you, Vaishnavi. Thank you for joining us and sharing your experiences with us. It was really great. Just like I said
Mhm.
in the beginning of the session, it's not about the age that you have lived. It's all about the moments where you have completely lived through the life, no matter what kind of emotions it is. And that is what makes a person uh, an actual person who has lived their life rather than just counting years on your birthdays.
Mhm.
So thank you so much for joining. And I really had a lot of amazing insights, like I just explained. Few of them, I think I'll start them, having them in my life right away. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Pooja. I really love the session. It was really nice talking to you as well. Yeah, thank you guys.
Same here. Yeah. Thank you. And
Thanks.
to all the people who are watching this, no matter when you're watching this, I think this video will show up on your feed every time you're gonna need this. So I hope this video is gonna give you some insights and some sort of help in any way possible. And if you ever feel that this helped you, more specifically to all the people watching on YouTube, do make sure that you're gonna share this with your family, friends, and do leave in the comments the best takeaway of this session. We will meet you next Sunday with another amazing speaker and another amazing topic in this journey. So until then, please take care, eat healthy, keep your mental health safe, sound, and keep meditating. I'll see you all soon. Thank you. And signing off for today. Bye bye.
Yeah, Pooja, thank you.